Today, we are having a really special episode. We have a guest with us today. She's been making some incredible art. So if you've been following, and hopefully you should be following her Instagram as well, because she's making some incredible pieces. She's been helping us with our journey to the Star Forge project we've had going on. But today we have with us Astro-Natka, who can be found on Instagram at astro_natka_art. How are you doing today?
Hey, hello there. I'm fine, and thank you for this podcast because it is very nice from you to be here.
Yeah, of course. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for your art. So, I guess to kick this off, how did you first, get into doing art and fan art?
Oh well, it is a long story, as it usually is. I remember that I have been drawing like all my life, like all children do, but there were some large stages, like large steps from one period to another. So from child doodles to something like true art. And I remember that Star Wars were very inspiring. So one of these large steps to making some true art, like I say, it was the 7th episode, The Force Awakens. And after that, I thought that, well, I just want to visualize some things and I want to try and I want to learn to be a better artist. And then I started to make efforts. And the second big, I can say that it is Old Republic and all this stuff because I started to looking for ways to express myself and my emotions, and this is a process which I'm still into it, so it is unfinished.
Yeah, no, the pieces you make are beautiful. So we're glad that you got into it. You mentioned episode 7. Was that kind of what got you into Star Wars, or had you been a fan of Star Wars before that, or?
I went into Star Wars actually before the 7th episode. It was a long time ago, but well, not so long time ago. I was 14, and it was very sudden, without any big special event, without any TV series or new movie. I just thought that, well, I need to watch this Star Wars, whatever it is, and then I watched them, and then I loved them. I started trying to find some other stuff which is connected to Star Wars, like expanded universe. It was old expanded universe in that time, and it was very difficult because in that time, in that age, I can't read English, I can't listen to English, and I used only this old material which I can find, and it was very little and it was crappy and, well, it was hard to find anything decent, but I tried. So yes, and after the 7th episode, I thought that I need some more Star Wars, and it was like reawakening of Star Wars and the Force and love for this universe. And I learned English finally.
No, that's
only because this.
Oh, that's great. Well, you sound excellent in your English. So yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing with everyone. Now, as far as Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic, were those games that you played about that same time that you started getting into the artwork, or was that something that you had played beforehand, or?
If you're talking about the games, I have played KOTOR. Well, before I started painting, make paintings about it, but I don't know. It is just the sympathy for this period and for this game is like long time. So it's not that I played and I forgot about it. I don't know how to express it. Just well, it's the feeling that I know this universe very long time, and I can draw every time.
Yeah, no, that's great. The story definitely sticks with you, and I think that's why Acacia and myself and everyone listens to the pod. Have kind of the same feelings about the KOTOR and how it kind of stuck with us as we had played it and grown up with it. So when you're making fan art for something like Star Wars or Knights of the Old Republic, or any of the other art that you do, what do you find? What's most enjoyable? What's most fun about doing the artwork?
Well, the most fun is trying to catch some situation. You maybe know that I love to draw some situation art, like some people that are doing something or something happens just right now. And I like to catch the feeling of situation, the emotions, the process, uh, like it is live. So you can see it and you can feel it. And it's always good when people look at my works and say something like, "Oh, I know this guy. I don't know who it is, but I see that he's happy. And this guy, well, he's sad. And this guy is fighting this one, and I see it why he's doing that." Something like this. So they understand what I'm trying to express.
That's awesome, and you definitely convey a lot of emotion and just the kind of the artwork that we've done with you and stuff that we've seen on your Instagram. Yeah, it shows a lot of that emotion and those interactions between the people. So that's really great. And what are some of the harder parts about making the art? Your stuff that or maybe things that you're still working on, or things that you want to improve on, or different maybe different styles that you'd like to experiment with?
Well, yes, I think new styles are interesting, but they are definitely hard because, well, they are new. Uh, by definition, if you didn't do something, then you can't do it properly. So you will make mistakes. You will do it like very slowly, and you need to redo it again. And another hard part is the same part which makes me happy because this process of catching something which is between people who are on the picture, something which is, I don't know, between the forms, between the colors and composition. So when I'm trying to catch this something, it is very, very randomly. So it may happen and may not. It's like inspiration.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be hard, like no matter like if you're doing art or writing or sports. So it's
Yes, yes, it is
there's
a
always waves.
artistic process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it's always good to to try new things and challenge yourself and try to learn and grow in art, and like Cassia said, in all kinds of whatever your interests are. But yeah, no, that's a really kind of great story, and like we said, we've loved your artwork that we've seen, and we've had you helping us out with some postcards. So why don't we talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, because you helped us out with our postcards in a major way. Kind of looking back in time, I think the first postcard you helped us out with, I think it was Tatooine.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I remember
yeah,
it.
yeah, because I think we were just kind of like saying like it'd be cool to have like Tatooine like and like have Revan and Bastila kind of like fighting in silhouette. Like, what was the process of creating that one?
Oh well, actually, it was a little fun by itself because uh, in that exact time I was trying some new brush sets in Photoshop. So I wanted to make something which looks a little rough but very very juicy. I don't know, like it is in traditional like oil painting, but not at all. Well, so I just created some landscape with these colorful green fields and some crazy sky with purple clouds on it. And then I just added some small details like Revenant Bastille, like some trees and buildings, and that works.
Yeah,
there and that works now.
yeah, because it has the Jedi Academy, and it has the star map building. There's probably a fancy name for it. Strange Ruins.
Strange Ruins, yeah.
That's what it's called. Um, and like, yeah, we were just kind of blown away with this one, and it was just beautiful. And the hard thing about being a fan of a game that came out in 2003 is like there's not a lot of contemporary art coming out, and like a lot of the art that's out there seems like it came out like in 2003 to 2005, so it's a bit dated and you can't really source the artist anymore. So
Yes.
what we kind of liked about working with you is like we know where the art's coming from, and it's a bit more contemporary, and it's fun.
Yes.
Then was it
Okay.
Tatooine next?
Yeah, Tatooine, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tatooine then. And actually, I like this one. It is one of my favorites because there is Java, and Java is cool. All Javas are cool.
Yeah, it was a fun little detail because I think like when we kind of request stuff, like when we request postcards, we kind of just like I think like we got like when it came to the Dantooine postcard, we're like, oh, let's have like Revan and Bastila fighting like with the sunset on Dantooine, and then I think we're like, yeah, add the strange ruins and the Jedi, temple, and then like with Tatooine, we're like, let's incorporate the crate dragon, like they're in silhouette, because I think we're kind of playing with the idea of Revan, being anyone. I think like as we later went on, we're like just making Ben Barnes, but we're kind of just like you could have Anchorhead in the distance, the two suns, and HK-47. But yeah, what did you kind of think about doing HK-47 in postcard form?
Well, he was very easy to draw. I can say that because, well, he's a droid and he's not a human being, so his forms are very geometrical and, well, he
Yeah.
has much better references than any other heroes from the game.
Yeah. And were there any other details you liked in Tatooine?
I don't think there is much to draw there. I remember that there are two suns, of course, and Revan and Bastila, and some. Yeah, it's a town, Mos Eisley. I don't remember which one that was there that time.
Yeah.
Where there is a spaceport.
Yeah, it's a fun one, and we were kind of like with the earlier postcards playing with the idea of like adding text, but then I think we kind of stepped away from that. So like if you're like this looks off center, it's like that's the reason why is like because originally we were going to add text, and maybe we still can, but probably not because we like the art, more than our meta, sayings about Knights of the Old Republic. Like I think Dantooine was going to be discover yourself on Dantooine, and Tatooine was going to be Pearl of the Outer Rim, So
Yeah.
Discover yourself in Manan
Yeah. Exactly.
or on Korriban.
Yeah. What I really like about the way that these came out is just how they kind of they tackle and they capture what's going on in these places, but they still are playful and really beautifully colored and things.
Oh,
so
thank you.
I think that they turned out really great. So
That's very touchy theme, actually, because that's my weakest spot, I think, the color things. I'm more or less at easy with forms and position, but colors make me crazy. And I don't know, in digital variant especially. So I'm usually very worried and shy about my colors. If you like it, then it's okay.
Yeah. You're doing things that we could never do. So I mean, like, I think later on, I would call them peasant sketches just because they're so bad, like to kind of be like, this is what I was thinking. And it's like stick figures with like a stick figure Star Forge, and then you kind of like knock it out of the park and make it look beautiful, and yeah, so we would, the postcards, they look amazing, and it's really because of you, not because of us. So, yeah. But
we did a good idea.
Yeah. And then I think was it Terrace next that we did?
Yeah, Terrace was next. Yeah, with Karth and Mission and Big Z at the cafe there. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is kind of where I was like, oh, I need to learn to be more specific, because like kind of just visualizing stuff a little bit differently. And it had some nice details, like Mission is holding Claudia Gray's bloodlines, and the sunset looks amazing, and you really nailed the buildings in the background. And if you kind of look at it, like, I'm like, wow, Karth's hand looks amazing, and you're kind of able to, if you zoom up on it, it's a little bit of a shorthand, but like from far away, just like as you're looking at it, you're like, wow, this is amazing, so.
Yes, thank you.
It took a while to like I think for us to visualize Terrace, but like the end result, like I ended up buying a mug for myself, because I just loved it so much. So yeah. I guess, what were some of your favorite details from this one?
From this one, well, the sky, because yes, one of the longest part was trying to compose the colors so they make this interesting contrast between the dark and light, between the shadows and the sunset. And then I made something, and I was very happy about it. And yeah, that fact that I could compose these three people to one table, and they more or less looking good. It's a very, I don't know, that's a win too for me, because these compositions are kind of difficult. If you have more than one person on the art, like two of them or even three or more, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
The composition of it is really nice, because you have the characters in kind of the foreground, but it has a really nice depth because there's some people, walking in behind them, and then you have the space traffic, and then the buildings kind of in the distance. So.
For atmosphere.
Yeah. And Karth looks like Karth. He looks a little bit like he looks angsty as he's angstily, reading a data pad, which is
because
hard to
he doesn't want to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Zalbar and Mission are just hanging out, and I think you really nailed Zalbar, and Zalbar doesn't get a whole lot of art, outside of Huni and you. Like, I haven't really noticed a whole lot, so, and you kind of nailed the fur, because it's, I don't know, Wookiees are kind of difficult to, like, make sure they're not all Chewbacca, but I think you nailed it, so, yeah. And I just love that we were able to kind of get that Bloodlines book in there.
Yeah, that was a very teeny Easter egg, because if you don't know, you can't guess it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm trying to think which one was next. Was it the Endar Spire?
Yeah, I think Endar Spire was next. So
yeah, these Easter eggs, like, bless you for tolerating us, because there was a lot. We have Bastila and Karth, kind of on the flagship of the Endar Spire. Like, this is probably, like, mere minutes, before, like, the start of the Knights of the Old Republic. And you kind of just have Karth looking at schematics of the Undar Spire. You can kind of see Terrace, on the horizon outside the viewport. And then Bastila is kind of keeping track of Revan's dossier. And you kind of have Employee of the Month, Traskell go beneath him, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trask is the best guy.
Yeah.
There is
not
some
enough
interesting...
Trask in the world.
I remember the same Calm Before the Storm when we see the Rogue One movie, and it ends just a few minutes, like literally a few minutes before the New Hope start. In some way, they're similar.
Yeah. And I really liked the use of space in the background. It's kind of more colorful. I'm glad that Trask is getting more love, and that our friend Marcus Mosley from Holochronicles of a Jedi is going to be voicing him in the Unreal Cinema adaptation, KOTOR Season 1. So we're thrilled about that. And yeah. So yeah, I think we asked you to do too much with the Endar Spire postcard, but you made it amazing.
Yeah, and then we to Manon, I think, was the next one up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Manon. That was a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A nice blue sky. And what I like is that you're able to kind of make it, each location kind of seem like it's in the game, but kind of add to it. Like that fountain, the fountain wall in the background, and you have some plants. Because, of course, it would have plants. And I think the only stipulations, we kind of gave you was, have Jolie talk to T3M4, because I'm like, you know what? This would be a really hilarious visual to have Jolie talk to a droid, because it's kind of like having a senior kind of, have to use a cell phone. And I was like, that would be really funny. And Jolie's kind of just talking to him. We have some Selkath in the background that look like Selkath, and we have Revan and Bastila kind of having some drama on Manon, and kind of focusing, on the mission supposedly. And yeah, just kind of it definitely looks like Manon, and it's a nice blue sky, and I really dug this one's composition. Did you kind of find T3 hard to do at all, or did it kind of come easily?
Well, yes, I have heard mostly what you said. I just couldn't talk. Yes. So what about the fontaine and the landscape? I was inspired by Svetor location of Manan. It's very beautiful, and it has this wall fountain and something else. And, these color schemes are amazing.
I really like this one. Well, really all of them, but they kind of tell a little story about what's happening just by looking at it. You get, kind of this feeling of, what's happening behind the scenes on these postcards. And that's just
that was the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, and I think it was Peace from Manon was going to be the tagline for this one, but because it's kind of talking about the Cold War they have going on Manon.
Next was the Leviathan, actually.
So this one, bless your heart for doing this one, because it's a complicated composition. You have, you made the walls look interesting and the floor. You made them look like Star Wars like they do in the game. And basically everyone in that composition, you have Malik looking evil, with his jaw and having lightning, and Revan is what? Karth is I'm having the worst day of my life, and Bastil's I can't explain, so.
Yes. It's interesting that sometime after I posted it in my Instagram, in one fan group of KOTOR, Russian language, the administrator wanted to post my works, and he asked my permission, and so I said okay. And there were some comments about what's going on this picture, and I said it is an artistical interpretation of the scene, and they said, but I don't understand what's going on. It was funny.
It's the revelation. It's hard to interpret that. I mean, like, visually, which I would, if they ever made a movie of, or adaptation or whatever, of Knights of the Old Republic, like, how do you make things visually iconic, like, that you can understand them without sound? Yeah, and, like, it's kind of like, if you look back on art back in the day, like, things are kind of more about gestures and symbols and, like, the iconography of what everything represents, and I think, like, we've kind of lost that in the modern day, you know? But I think, like, the tradition kind of continued in here, and I don't know, I think it's really good, and honestly, the red wall behind Malik, like, I was, like, really happy with that, and the floor, and if you zoom up on Bastila's lightsaber, all the details from the game look perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all because of references. Tons and tons of references.
Yep. And I think this is the part where we're just like, just make Revan Ben Barnes, you know? So, yeah.
Well, with this series of postcards, it looks like it is a Revan journey from anyone from a mystical stranger to Ben Barnes. Like, first you can see the face, you can see like some mystical forms and silhouettes, and then you see Ben Barnes.
Yeah, exactly. As it kind of makes sense as he's discovering himself. He starts to look more and more like an individual person.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's gaining his identity as the postcards kind of go on, and kind of like we were kind of all finding like what these postcards were going to be as we went on, and it was kind of fun. And I think, like, when I was thinking of the postcard for Lee Han, I think I ended up sketching out a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, totally the idea.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's no way you're going to be able to, like, sketch out, like, the choice on Lee Han, like, with Jolie, Juhani, and Revan and Bastila, and, like, incorporating the architecture that I love from the temple, and, like, including the sky and the ruins. And I was like, why not incorporate the choice in the clouds, overlooking the temple on Lee Han, and you can kind of see all of the ruined ships and the Ebon Hawk in the background. Yes. What did you kind of enjoy about doing this one?
Well, the sky, of course. I don't know. Well, drawing landscapes is easier than drawing people, to be sure. It's like, well, you just draw this and this and these fields and these trees and all is green and this is fun. And then you draw the sky and this is the fun begins. So this yin-yang symbol, this clouds and this game of shadow and light again, I think it was, well, it was fun, if to be short. And I don't know, I like how it went finally.
Yeah.
I thought that it would be like too purple again, or too dark, too grim, but no, it worked well.
Yeah, and I like that you included, like, I don't know if it's a planet in the background or a really big moon, but it makes it look cool, and I like that the dark clouds kind of have some light in them, and the light clouds have some dark in them, so you can kind of just imagine, like, things are in balance, and they could go light or dark, and...
Yeah, because it's nature, and It's naturally.
Yeah, and I really like the work you did on the temple, just kind of to make it like look curved and everything. Like, I think Lihan is the other mug I ended up buying. Like, I was just so impressed with it. So you knocked that one out of the park, and just very pleased with it. And
then we had Revan on the Star Forge.
yeah, how did you like doing that one?
It is the most symbolic of this all. Like, you asked to draw him not actually like Superman, but to be inspired with him. And then I thought, well, I just want to draw beautiful Revan. This is very simple. And that's all.
It's very striking with his white kind of Jedi robes and cape and hood against kind of that dark blue background and kind of steel looking floor with him there with his lightsaber ignited.
Yeah, because this is kind of like it's to represent like Revan has become the person he's meant to be. He's kind of a synthesis of the light and dark, kind of ultimately aligned with the light side of the Force at this time. And when I was kind of requesting this postcard, I was like, here are some references, like looking at like the Man of Steel posters or like from the Man of Steel film. And I'm like, technically, I don't think that Jedi Revan has a cape, but I'm like, give him a cape. It'll just look cool. You know, with his purple lightsaber.
Exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah.
If you always think that, well, we don't need this thing because it can't be there, because this is not real and this is not very cool, but this looks cool, but we don't have this. That's not how Star Wars work. About the Man of Steel, I think I understood your intention that the Superman there is a representation of power, of course, and yet representation of hope for some, for some cool, for some light, for some good ending after all. So is the Revan, and he's a representation of light in this dark, and well, he's a knight in shining armor, and he's a Jedi Knight, and all these things at one. So it should work.
I think I ended up posting just the kind of preliminary sketch you sketched out because it was just so strong, and I ended up quoting, "You just have to decide what kind of man you want to be, because whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's gonna change the world." From Man of Steel, Jonathan Kent, you know, and yeah, you nailed like making him look epic, heroic, and benevolent, and just when it was like in its full colored glory, you know, I'm just like, ooh, this is strong, you know, and you have this on a mug, don't you?
Yeah, I got this one on the mug because I love the contrast and the colors and how he looks in this one. This one came out great. Yeah, this one's beautiful for sure.
And what other mugs did you end up getting, Brian?
So I have the Endar Spire mug, and I have the Revan mug are the two that I have so far, but I'm probably gonna kind of keep adding to that collection.
Yeah,
here as we go.
Forge.
Yeah, I need to go through and get rid of some mugs I don't need anymore, so I can make room for more of these ones here. So next up was Korriban.
Oh yeah, I forgot it.
So that one has Revan again. So he's in more of his kind of traditional gear, but in the Valley of the Kings. So kind of beautiful orange, you know, sky and behind Canderous and Juhani and Revan here kind of in the foreground. Yeah, Canderous and Juhani and Revan there. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like about Korriban?
Oh, well, this one have some amazing Korriban landscapes because I I love this Valley of Lords. I love
Hmm.
these ancient statues, and I want to draw them forever. And this art, like a whole, works again because of contrast. Like you said, it is orange sky and earth, and blue and violet figures of Revan and his mates. So this is how it. I don't know how they are very strict, very strong on this. I don't know how to express it in words. I can do only arts. Sorry. Uh,
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I'm monolingual. I only know one language. I'm trying to learn more, but you've been doing a great job. Yeah, just with Korriban, kind of like you nailed the big statues, and Korriban always looks great in the sunset. And I was kind of like, make Revan look a little bit like a pharaoh, kind of make it seem like he's tempted by power, you know? And I was like, 2 lightsabers, you know, and like kind of in the crook and flail position. You know, he kind of has his old clothes on, you know, but kind of the purple lightsabers, so he's kind of figuring out who he wants to be. And Canderous, I was like, I think Canderous just looks better in armor, personally. So, like, if someone's like, that's not canon, he wasn't in that, I'm like, armor looks cooler, you know? And we're doing this because that's what we're doing, you know? And we have Juhani, so we tried to incorporate, like, at least each character in one of the postcards, you know? So,
yeah.
yeah, hopefully
Each one of them is at least at one.
it's a strong design, and I believe the final one is
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
the Kashyyyk star map one.
Oh,
And-
this one is my favorite, without
Oh, it
questions.
is? I'm so glad.
Yes.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, because I think Cassia just kind of said that, you know, she wanted to see these two kind of in front of a star map, but I guess maybe kind of talk to us a little bit just how you go about putting this one together.
How I put the star map and Revan and Bastila?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you made the sketch again, as I remember. So I basically play with it, and then I thought that it is a good composition, and I don't need to change anything. I like how it works. It is it is symmetrical, but with little difference between Revan and Bastila, and this is exactly what we need to show in the relationships in this symbolic way.
Yeah. Because when I don't know, just watching like Shadow and Bone, I was like, if Revan has to look like the mullet guy, like make him Ben Barnes, and Jessie Maylee, I was like, oh, she could be a good Bastila, you know? And just kind of like some of the stills from Shadow and Bone, I was like, oh wow, this, like, maybe I'm just way too into the Knights of the Old Republic of everything, but I'm like, these are some strong images, and I was like, you know what, if we're trying to do like kind of represent Kashyyyk in a different way than, you know, like some other future things that are coming out, kind of make it a central, like, on Revan and Bastila and like their Force bond / dyad, and incorporate a star map, because I was like, I don't think we've incorporated a star map into any of these postcards yet, so hopefully you guys can all eat your hearts out, you know, like when it comes out, and be like, oh, this is perfect, because I think it's my favorite too.
There is some feeling on it. I don't know about you, but that's what I felt when I drew it. That's the moment when you see the star map opens, it is like flower blossoms. It is like some lightning, some I don't know, the galaxy well, and some stars, and they are moving, and this is some magic here. And so we see this magic, we see these flower blossoms, this space is turning around them, and we see Revan and Bastila relationship, like they reflect each other, and I don't know, there is something in it.
Yeah. And you definitely nailed it, and the lighting is like perfect for like a forest floor combined with the star map, and it kind of is, you know, romantic and shippy, I guess. So Star Wars is great, you know, when it's about love, you know. So
Yes, it's always about love in stars.
Mm-hmm.
Across the stars, you know. But yeah.
Yes.
So which postcards, if you had to choose like some for yourself, like which ones would you say are your favorites?
The most favorite still is the last one, because it's like a final in the series, and both Revan and Bastila gained their identities. They became like from some strange silhouettes, they became people, and I like the style which they gained at last, and I like how it ended, like well, a perfect hope moment.
Mm-hmm. It did a great job of kind of summing up the kind of story that, you know, we were wanting to tell, and that, you know, you were able to tell through these art pieces.
I think my favorites are definitely the last one as well, the star map.
Mm-hmm.
Terrace and Lehan. I mean, I love them all, but they're all great, you know. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something about every one of them that I like a lot. I really like the coloring in the Endar Spire, where it has kind of that blue incorporated into the space. There, you know, there's a lot visually there to look at. I like that. I like Manon. Like I said, it's telling this kind of story in this beautiful setting. So, but yeah, they're all just fantastic. We couldn't be happier with the way they turned out.
yeah.
So we kind of ran through the postcards that you'd made for us, and kind of talked about, you know, the composition and the coloring, and how you'd want to see things. So if you were going to just kind of picture, I guess, maybe how you would illustrate something, you know, to tie into like Bastila's battle meditation, what are some ways do you think that that might look?
I remember that was not the proper question for me, but that was the theme I was thinking about a few months ago. I wanted to draw a little comic series about the pre-KOTOR events, the Jedi attack on Revan's flagman. And well, I actually drew it, but I'm not satisfied, and I will redraw it sometime later. I just catched a few interesting moments, like battle meditation. Well, it doesn't look very interesting or special. It's just how it should be in my mind, that a Jedi who is in battle meditation is not like his or she, not like they are governing or managing the other people. It's more like they feel the force, they feel these other people, the other ships, the whole situation, and they just immersed into it, and they are like musician, and the force is like giant piano, and they play some music on it, and they listen to it more than play. It's like I don't know, like a light and warm and something alive in this cold space, something like this. So it's a part of hope which should be in every people, in every person who feel it. And so this is why they they became more brave and strong and can fight better than before.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful way to describe it. So, Cassia, go ahead and follow that up if you want.
Yeah, because sometimes like during like the podcast, like we talk about kind of making certain things visual from Knights of the Old Republic, because in a video game you can kind of talk more about lore, you know, and like kind of just have like discussions, you know, but when you're in a movie you can't really like sometimes like have lore, you know, like as a conversation, or else it kind of gets boring, you know. You kind of have to make something visual, and like with battle
Yes.
meditation,
Yes.
like I was like, you're an artist, so like I was just kind of talking with you about how to visualize it, and you always had some great ideas, and I loved discussing them with you, and because you really kind of broke it down and kind of gave us some ideas.
So I would say that it should be showed at least from the two sides, like the other people see Bastila and like what Bastila sees at this moment, and so it should be, well, it should be some space and this network of lights, of stars, which are I don't know, people's mind, like you know, in the X-Men, when Professor Xavier uh, looks for some mutants, he sees exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be some music which represented to which reflects. Well, I'm not a music specialist at all, but it should be there. Maybe some inner monologue of Bastila. Maybe some movements, some intentions of her, which she describes what she's doing, like what she's looking for, what she's trying to achieve. But yeah, some space magic, the main idea is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. And then another thing that is, you know, kind of challenging to visualize, and it's because it's, you know, it's internal, like within the characters, kind of similar to the battle meditation, but is the force bond that Bastila and Revan have. I guess we saw a little bit kind of that in The Last Jedi, but are there other ways that you kind of picture a force bond being visualized, either in a piece of art or, you know, on film, on screen?
Oh well, I would say that the way it was showed in The Last Jedi was very unusual for what I've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it is described as people can see or hear the thoughts of each other, see the dreams of each other, like it was in KOTOR sometimes. Maybe they could just understand each other better and, I don't know, feel each other in some situations and something like this. The symbolic visualization is usually like a string between them, some string which connects their hands, because hands represents people's intentions and pictures usually. And I don't know what to add here. I can just babbling about, well, some magic again, some light, some warmth, some understanding. And I would say that Last Jedi way is interesting, but not ideal.
Yeah. I think I remember talking to you about the force bond, and you were talking to me about an opera where I think it's like these two characters were connected, and the language, like I think they spoke different languages, but somehow like throughout the opera
Yes,
it was
that was
translated.
interesting another visualization which I described. It was from an old rock opera in Russian language again, where the two main characters, which are very similar in this situation to Revan and Bastila, they loved each other and they were need to, how to say, well, the main hero was need to sail away back at home, and they having a vision. They see that they will not see each other again, and they talk to each other the last time, and they became very, very spiritual way. They understand each other without translation, which they couldn't before. And I don't know, it's just need to be seen and heard. So
Yeah.
yes, this is some way suddenly some people can understand each other when they couldn't before, when they shouldn't know something but they know it suddenly, something like this. It's not like one way of visualization, it's situationally. You need to make a script and then then keep a place to such moments and then make a culmination, something like this.
Yeah. And then what was the name of that opera?
It is called
Or do you know it?
Juno and Davos.
Yeah, because that sounds really interesting
Yeah.
to check out. Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think it's cool to like. I mean, obviously we're invested in Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic and all the rest, but whenever you can kind of link it to the bigger topics, you know, like and art and operas, like it kind of helps, like I don't know, like everyone kind of be more interconnected to art and culture, and it's always good. Like it's always nice to get more perspectives, you know, like artist perspectives, fans from all over the world, and it's just really fun to learn new things, and that's the cool thing about this podcast, I would say.
Yes, sure. And the main thing about Star Wars is that they are so multicultural that you can see some references and main themes almost in everywhere.
Yeah, because I think I remember talking to you about how the translation for the Force in Russian is power.
Yes.
And just like what that kind of means, you know, like in translation and like the different perspective.
It's actually interesting that it's not actually power. A power can be translated in a few ways. Like all these words, power and strength, and some other, I don't remember now. They are kind of similar, and the force is about all of them. It's the most common, so it can be almost anything, and that's very good.
Yeah.
It can be human force. It can be a force of nature, like in English. It can be a military force.
Yeah.
And force of destiny.
Yeah. I do like Forces of Destiny, you know? All right. So where can our listeners find you and support your incredible work?
Only on Instagram for now. Astronautka Art, and there I post some shitty arts and not shitty at all, and I take commissions, and well, you can follow me if you want.
I think your art, all of it, is great, and we love the work we were able to collaborate on, and you just have a unique style that everyone should be looking into and supporting, and more people should be clamoring for commissions from you. So thanks again so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And we learned so much, and it's great to finally kind of talk after, like, you know, kind of just messaging about art for this time.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure everyone listening out there, you go check out Astronautka's art on Instagram. It's at astro_nautka, NAUTKA _art. And take a look at the amazing stuff that she's putting out there into the world. And may the Force be with you.